Well, good afternoon, traders. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Hopefully, you guys made some money in the markets and you guys are here ready to learn. Before we get started, can you guys just please give me a Y in the chat box if you can hear my voice and see the projection on your screen? That way we can get started without any interruptions. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. First and foremost, my name is Sean Kozak. I'm the Director of Business Development with Shark Indicators. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for participating in today's educational event. We have the privilege of having Tony Peterson from The Intentional Trader. He's a very valued partner with Shark Indicators, and he's been definitely working in this business, trading and teaching traders globally for, I would say just short of a decade now. So definitely no stranger to the financial markets. I believe what he's going to show you today should, if not, easily change your belief systems about trading, change your perspective on how you may be trading. And if you're not achieving the results that you're looking to achieve, then hopefully you'll be able to find today through the use of the Bunt trading software and the Shark Indicators Bloodhound add-on, you'll be able to increase that efficiency. So please feel free to type your questions in the chat box. We are recording the event, so we will definitely distribute you guys a recording after in case you would like to review for future viewing. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Tony, and I hope you guys enjoy today's presentation. Thanks, traders.
All right, thank you, Sean. Thanks, everybody, for coming today. I wanted to very quickly say that I'm very happy to answer questions. However, I tend to get sidetracked if I go and answer questions during an event. So I do have my question answering machines with me, and that would be Connor and Lisa, my associates here that work with me here at the Intentional Trader. We also, I see a number of our traders in the room here today with us, and many of them can give you some of their background if you have some questions about what it's like to trade our system or to use our indicators along with Bloodhound, and you want to direct that in the chat for others to answer, feel free. I will not be reading and answering questions. I might have time at the end to answer questions, but what we do have in lieu of being able to answer a lot of questions is an event this Saturday, and hopefully you'll have some time this Saturday, and I'll show you that registration here in just a minute. That event is designed to, number one, answer almost all of the questions that you might have, and number two, give you a period of time at the end of the webinar to ask your questions and get very detailed answers, okay? So we kind of set aside a lot of the question and answer for Saturday, but if I have a little time today at the end, I'll answer some questions, but by and large, most of them should be able to be answered in the chat. All right, so trading, as you've noticed or probably noticed, can be easily made to be very complicated, and particularly as you're looking for something that is a very powerful trading system. We call very powerful something that might have a higher probability of producing winning trades than losing trades. So we'll call that a powerful trading system. Now, to do that, you will typically see, and if you've been looking around at other trading systems and looking on the internet for ways to trade, you have found some systems potentially that are very powerful, but on the surface they are not something that you would consider very easy. Well, nothing is easy, but it can be made much more simple by removing information that you don't need and only keeping the information that you do need to make good trade decisions. The beauty of that is the fact that we now have a set of indicators that basically give yes-no type signals. Yes, a condition exists, or no, a condition doesn't exist. No shades of gray. We've removed those. This process and the way that we go about reading our is perfect for to include and use Bloodhound, which will take our yes/no signals, and then when we have some confluence of signals that we design inside of Bloodhound, and we'll show you that in a little bit, we get a yes/no trade signal. Okay, is it time to issue a trade here? Yes, no. Okay, all the gray areas removed. That's what makes it so easy. Okay, so we've taken a very powerful system with Bunt trading, combined it with Bloodhound, and made this an extremely easy. For example, you can look on this first chart here, on this first image here. You'll see up at the top where our indicators generating a trade signal. Okay, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of confluence here, actually 5, 6 levels of confluence here, suggesting that price is going to pull back here. Now, you will have a period of time when you're learning our Bunt trading system how to identify and recognize when you have this confluence of events that suggests a trade setup. Now, we applied Bloodhound, all of the criteria for this trade to Bloodhound, and what happens here is Bloodhound has issued or told us at the open of this bar we have a signal to go short. Okay, so this is how we take something that is very powerful and make it very easy. Okay, so essentially we've got Bunt trading and all of our indicators, and then we've got Bloodhound, and where those come together is where the magic happens. Okay, that's where all of the things come together, and whether you want to use it as an order generator, an auto trader, or more like I use it, and that is for a platform for testing lots of different trade setup criteria without ever having to trade a single dollar to determine if that trading potential trading setup has value, has the same edge as some of our other trading setups. So right at the intersection of Bunt trading and Bloodhound is where all the magic happens. All right, so we're going to show you this magic, and we're going to go into very specific detail. I'm going to talk to you about generalities and how our Bunt trading works and why it works. Then on Saturday, my associates Lisa and Praveen, along with Daniel Rowe at Trade the Plan, will meet with you and go over the specific details on how to make it happen. Okay, so you want to register for that. You can go down here at the bottom. You see a registration. Is there a way we can put that? I think there's a way we can put that in the chat, right? I think there is. Not sure. I can't even see the chat. So if you go to intentionaltrader.com/register, and you can register for that event on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you cannot make it, please register anyway, and we will send you a video. Okay? All right, now, after we do an event, it's usually pretty easy for people who attend the event to see the value in what we're doing. And this is what I'm going to do for you here in just a few minutes. I'm going to not show you a bunch of squiggly, wavy lines and say, when this crosses this, and then this, and this, and this, and this happens, put it on the trade. Okay? I'm actually going to explain to you why it makes sense to do what we're doing. The typical reaction from people is, hey, this looks great. Can you, the next question is, do you have plans to automate it? Okay? A lot of people are very interested in auto traders. I'm a discretionary trader, meaning that I will sit down and trade. I manually trade. I feel like I'm better than any machine can trade because I've been doing it a long time. So personally, since I'm spending the time anyway, I would never turn on an auto trader and walk away from it. But since I'm there anyway, I I prefer to trade manually myself, but there's an awful lot of people that want to automate their trading. Up until we met up with the guys over at Shark Indicators, and I learned more about the Bloodhound product, it was pretty much the face I got was, sorry, we don't plan to automate it. Now with Bloodhound, you can use Bloodhound to just generate a signal. You can use it to place orders, manage orders, manage trades, and more importantly for me, use it for criteria testing to test different scenarios for trade setups. Okay. Now, a lot of trading systems are very strong trading systems using technical analysis for the basis of the system. You may have heard of order flow analysis, and you may have heard of price action or divergence, just simply using support and resistance. Maybe you've heard of or used volume spread analysis, tape reading, momentum and exhaustion. Okay, so these are all different types of and really strong technical analysis indicators that entire trading systems have been built around. You know, they start with the foundation of one of these and build an entire trading system around it. And what we've actually done is taken all of those and created a single, very strong trading system. So very powerful. We take the best of each one of those. And what we're looking for is a confluence among all of those things that give us a very strong system, meaning a confluence, meaning all of them say the same thing at the same time using what we call non-correlated confluence. Non-correlated, meaning that all of the data comes from different sources, yet they all are suggesting the same thing. You'll see what I'm talking about here in just a few minutes, okay? Now, if you're not familiar with Bunt trading, we've got a couple of videos here that you might want to watch that's going to get you up to speed a little bit faster on some of the details. I am going to go over some things today, but these videos will go into more depth, into more detail than I'm able to do today, if you're interested. Excuse me just a second here. I got to make sure. I had to reboot this computer just before we started. So some of the things I had open to show you got closed. So I want to make sure that's there. All right. So we've got that video for you to watch and that video for you to watch. If we could put those in there for the in the chat, or you can do a screen grab real quick and grab those links, or you could email Lisa and she'll email you those links. Okay, and that's, you can see on every slide Lisa's email address is right here on the left hand side, and she'll email you those links. Okay. So confluence, for non-correlated confluence. Okay, so another way to look at this is we've got all of these different this different type of information, this different type of data that is happening inside our charts. Okay. Now we could take price as a point, or volume, or order flow, or momentum, support and resistance, and so each of these have different sources to generate signals, but when they all come together and they all say the same thing, we have what's called confluence. When we have confluence, we have an ideal situation for automation to generate a single signal. all of this confluence can generate one single signal. Now, why do we want to have this confluence? Well, you know, it's all stronger when you take them together. It's a much stronger system than simply having a system based on divergence, or a system based on order flow, or on volume, or on price. When you take them all together and you take the strongest parts of each one, you have a much stronger trading system, okay? One that you can have a lot more confidence in. So what we trade with our bunt trading, we trade the pullbacks from a trend, okay? This is all about increasing our odds, okay? This is all about increasing our edge. Every trend, you know, I think a lot of you may be trend traders, or tried to be trend traders, or are trying to be trend traders, and maybe not having a lot of luck with it, or maybe you are. My problem with trading the trend was it would cause me to have to manage my emotions, okay? I was always so worried about managing my emotions and trying to stay in a trade when, oh gosh, I want to get out of this. It's going against me. It's going against me. It's about to hit my stop. Oh, I should get out of this. Do I need to move my stop? You know, waiting for it to go in my, you know, it was all about, you know, trading the rules and managing my emotions, and I simply couldn't do it. I tried it for 7 years, and I failed for 7 years. So I decided just before I quit trading completely, and I was days away from quitting completely. I had already started looking for a job, and I never told my wife. I was in the construction business for a long time, and trying to find a job back after the housing industry had collapsed in the construction world was going to be next to impossible. So I put everything I had into getting this trading thing going, and I was just on my last legs until I decided to try this little experiment. And one part of this experiment was to wipe away everything from a trading chart, forget everything I know, and now apply what I am best at. And what I'm best at is problem solving. As being a contractor for a living, I had it was a small company, probably 30 employees, and but my job all day long, every day, was solving problems. And I got really, really good at solving problems because I could look at things from different perspectives to solve a problem. I never approached trading that way. So this was my attempt to approach trading a different way. I decided, okay, I'm going to look at this chart, and I'm going to try to identify opportunities, try to solve this trading problem I have that I'm just not able to manage my emotions. So I look at this, and I look at something like this. I say, okay, I see something that happens on a regular basis. I see that price, for no particular reason, stops and changes directions. How can I figure out when that's going to happen? Why? First of all, figure out why it happens. And if I could figure out why it happens, then maybe I can figure out when it's going to happen. So that became my mission. I decided, you know what? I don't need these 10, 25, 50 tick winning trades to make money. I just need to have winning trades to make money. Whether it's 50 ticks or 5 ticks, if I can get so good at winning 5 ticks every day, 5 ticks, what would be the limits to my income? You start thinking about that. If I could just do 5 ticks a day, what would be the limits to my income? Basically unlimited if I could do it every day. So starting to think about trading that way now. Instead of trying to make a bunch of money every day, make a little bit of money every day. Okay? So looking at these pullbacks, these few ticks, kind of got me excited. All right, so what I said about doing was what can I read? What information is in the markets that tells me how to predict a pullback and when that's going to happen? And so now you see some of our indicators on the charts, that when we have a confluence of indicators, something happens. Price does something different. It pulls back, at least to some degree, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Just has to give me an edge. All right, so we start out with a chart that looks like this. It gives you really no information to make trade decisions, and we end up with something that looks like this, where just the information that you need to make a trade decision is on the chart, with no other superfluous information. You don't see a bunch of wavy lines and oscillators and histograms and different time frames. This looks very much like a chart that I use to trade on every day, and that's it. That's all I use, period. If I'm trading one instrument, that's what I'm looking at, and that's all. Now we take that and we run that same system that I trade every day to read the confluence of those signals that we've identified picks up where price turns and heads the other direction. All right, so you notice that there's a confluence of indicators right here suggesting that price is going to pull back, and it did, and Bloodhound picked that up right here. And at the open of this bar, after this bar dropped, you see this bar dropped, then this bar opened, that signal was generated down here, and price went up. Okay, so it's taking a very powerful system and making it very easy. Okay, so why do pullbacks give us an edge? Every trend has a series of pullbacks, right? Have you ever looked at a trend? And I don't care if you're talking about a trend on a minute chart, tick chart, volume chart, 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, daily chart, doesn't matter. Every trend has a series of pullbacks or retracements. You hear them called retracements a lot, okay? They all have them. If you look at them carefully, you will notice that there is a pattern, and their behavior is predictable. They're easy to time entry and exit into a pullback or a retracement, okay? All we do is react when the conditions exist. We don't need to speculate on what we think might happen. We get people come in the trade room sometimes, and they say, "Okay, so what are you looking at now? What are you expecting is going to happen?" And I kind of have a dumb response, and that is nothing. I don't have any idea what the markets are going to do 1 minute from now, 3 minutes, 5 minutes from now, not a clue. I might have a gut feel, but historically my gut was not a very good trader. I trusted my gut for many years, and it cost me a lot of money. So I no longer use my gut to speculate on what I think might happen. I have a very clear and easy to follow set of rules that I trade it the same way every single day, and this gives me my edge. I trade it the exact same way with no, unless I make mistakes, which is funny because this week I've made, I call out trades in the trade room before I enter the trade. I'll tell people what I'm about to trade, and then I enter the trade and manage it as the proper way, and then exit the trade. And we all do that, and we all share our trade results in the trade room. This week, man, I just kept screwing up. I kept entering trades I wasn't supposed to, and everybody in the trade room was like, "Wait, stop! You're messing up." So, I can make mistakes, and but the nice thing is the people in our trade room, once you've been there for just a few weeks, you already know the rules, and you understand the way I trade and what trades I'm going to enter and trade based on my risk tolerance levels. So it's very easy to design a set of rules based on your risk tolerance levels, based on your trading personality. If you want to be an aggressive trader, you can trade these pullbacks. If you want to be a conservative trader and only trade a little bit, you could trade these pullbacks. That's the nice thing, is it's easy to design a set of rules based on your risk tolerance levels and a set of rules that will give you an edge. And that's all you need. That's the big thing that a lot of people don't understand about trading. They think you want to find something that's going to make you a lot of money. You need to find something that gives you an edge, and that is all. Now, the big thing is most of these little pullbacks in a trend are generally ignored by most retail traders. Okay? There are not a lot of people involved in trading them, actively trading them. Okay? There are a lot of people trading at that period of time, but they're usually trading for a different reason, not why we're trading. They're usually either trading because they've gotten stopped out, their stops have been hit, they're about to be hit, or they're about to cash out and take some profits. Okay, so there is a lot of trading going on. But see, we see this happening before the pullback happens, and this is what gets us into these trades. All right. Now, so we talked about pullbacks, but what is bunt pullback trading? Okay, what does it look like? This is a very typical trade setup for us. On any given day in our trade room, you could see a trade setup that looks like this. Now, we see all kinds of indicators on the charts, right? These indicators simply tell us that a condition exists. Does not tell us this is a trade to enter, this is not a trade to enter, this is not a trade. These are simply saying that a particular condition exists, kind of like a thermometer saying it's 60 degrees outside. The thermometer doesn't tell you that it's raining outside. It doesn't tell you it's windy. It doesn't tell you it's cloudy. It doesn't tell you anything, only that it's 60 degrees outside. So it is one criteria for making a decision whether to put a coat on or not, okay, is temperature. There are other things to tell you when it's the best time to take a trade. When we have this confluence right here, this is our speed flash trade setup. And by the way, this on Saturday, this setup is what Lisa and Daniel and Praveen are going to talk to you about and show you how to build a template to trade this. We're actually, I'm going to talk to you a little bit here. We actually have a special on pre-built templates for you. All right, so this is a very typical trade setup for us. Now, the order of us to enter this trade, Bloodhound would issue a signal at the open of this bar right here. That would be where we would enter this trade. And we want this little piece right here. That's it. We want this pullback. We're in, we're out, we're done, we got money in the bank, and now we're relaxed and waiting for the next setup. Okay, that's a bunt pullback trade. We have an indicator called a speed tick that is using the very powerful order flow analysis. Entire systems are built around order flow analysis. We have volume spread analysis. And if you want more information on what volume spread analysis is, send Lisa an email. She'll send you a link to a video of a webinar that we did on volume spread analysis. But essentially, we're reading the type of volume that's coming into this bar. And if the type of volume is such that we believe that we have this churning action where essentially at this point we had a lot of sellers that were excited and involved in this, and then we had a lot of buyers suddenly expressing an interest here. Then we also had that on this bar. A lot of sellers initially and then buyers getting very interested. This generates a signal for us to tell us, hey, This is very likely a turning point here because the buyers are now much more interested than they were back in here. All right, so good point for, or good place for price to change direction, particularly when we have a divergent condition, which means that even though price is dropping, momentum has started heading the other way. If you know anything about divergence, again, we just did a webinar recently on divergence and how and why it works. This is our divergence indicator, saying that we now have price falling, but it's weakening. We have signs that people are, buyers are very interested, and now we see that momentum has already shifted to the upside. All right, very powerful. So we also had momentum on the drop down where we see, and velocity where we see the potential for exhaustion for price. When price moves a long way quickly, it gets exhausted. When price gets exhausted, it wants to pull back. Okay? And then we have an oversold condition, which is actual exhaustion. You see, you use like an RSI oscillator. When price gets outside the extremes of the oscillator, you'll see that exhaustion has set in, and price wants to get back inside those extremes. So when you have an overbought or an oversold condition, you will often get a pullback. Notice how all of these are different sources of data. They're all suggesting prices is going to want to pull back here or go up. Extremely powerful trading system. And we're looking for simplicity. Real-time, non-correlated indicators give us the current information about the data that is coming in right now. This is the best time for us to make a trade decision. When we have, if we move away from right now, 5 minutes from now, we don't know what's going to go on. The closer you are to right now, the better your decision making can be. Meaning that if your decision is based on the information that you're getting right now, and that you're going to be in and out of a trade like right now, then whatever happens 3, 5 minutes, 60 minutes, an hour, 2 hours from now, it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's very hard in this day and age with the big boys, the market manipulators, the HFTs, where they're out there manipulating the markets. It's very difficult to know what to expect over a longer period of time. All of the quants, these HFTs, operate in seconds or milliseconds. You've got to have data on your charts that's telling you exactly what's happening right now. Okay? So right there at the open of that bar is a beautiful signal. And again, this is a yes, no. We have our volume spread analysis, yes. Ricochet, yes, which is a relative order flow. Our speed tick, which is order flow analysis. Our divergence indicator. All of these are saying yes, the condition exists. Bam, 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 and the signal is generated by Bloodhound to sell right there. All right, so let's see Bloodhound in action here real quick. I'm just going to put it on a video for you. Daniel and Lisa and Praveen will actually show it to you on charts on Saturday, and we'll build some a strategy with Bloodhound. All right, so this is a live chart that I recorded. You'll notice when these indicators signal, okay? So you'll notice price is moving up into one of our major line of resistance. Now, price has just slammed into that, and this speed tick right here is telling us that there's a high probability this bar has been manipulated by the HFTs, the big boys, and saying that the orders are actually coming in at a speed that retail traders are not likely to be able to place orders. Okay, So we're reading how fast these orders are coming in so we can know whether they're being manipulated, this bar has been manipulated or not. So that's the speed tick. We also have this indicator here suggesting that volume spread it out, that the churning action inside this bar, see right now it just looks like it opened here and it's about to close up here, right? But there's actually price action going on inside this bar to suggest that this bar is weakening, that the sellers are actually much more involved and much more interested. So then we've got a signal. Notice where Bloodhound generated a signal. At the open of this bar, the criteria has been met to generate a signal. This criteria right here, all of this confluence, bam, there's an order, there's a signal generated to sell. All right. Now, did it go down very far? Nope. But it did go down, and it went down far enough. There's our edge. All right. All we have to do is exploit the edge. Do it regularly and consistently, and you can make money, as much money as you want. Remember, if you can make 5 ticks a day, every day, there's really no limit to what you can do. I know that's an oversimplification. I know it's not that easy or everybody would be doing it. But you need to focus your attention on being a winning trader. Then, once you become a consistent winner, then we'll start worrying about money. All right? So I'll show you another one. See that? We got a open of the bar with divergence, and we got a sell signal. We got an order flow analysis indicator, exhaustion. We got our support and resistance. We entered right here. This was our entry. Price dropped here. We got our winner. All right, that one issued an order, and it actually was a loser, but not an order, but a signal suggesting that we would short it here. See, that's a red suggesting we would short it, but that one didn't work out. Got another one here. This is actually a better signal because we have the momentum and velocity. That's these lines here. So we got high velocity. So Bloodhound issued a short signal there, and that down it went. All right, that's all we need. That's it. All right, same thing here. All right, so this is applying Bloodhound. This is called our speed flash. This is what they're going to talk to you about on Saturday, I think. I mean, I could just go on and on and on all day. But this is what you're going to see when you see this confluence of events, all of this information, all non-correlated, getting its information from different places, all suggesting that we have confluence, we have an opportunity to buy. Bloodhound signals that, yes, this is indeed a confluent opportunity, and the entry is at the open of this bar. All right, and more buys right there. Not looking for huge winners. Remember, keep in mind, we're trading retracements. We're trading the pullbacks. We are not expecting a trend reversal. Notice this trend. We are not expecting price to stop and turn and start a new trend. We are simply expecting this little pullback. It drops and it pulls back. It drops and it pulls back. Those are our sweet spots, those little pullbacks. And we can identify when they're going to happen over and over and over again. Now, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be a reversal. It certainly could be, but we don't know, and we don't really care, because we just want that little piece that we can consistently nail over and over and over again. So you see how Bloodhound keeps picking these up. was an amazing product. All right. So how do we qualify these? Even in Bloodhound, we want to qualify these trade setups a certain way. You don't just throw a bunch of stuff in there and hope it works. You're going to want to create a framework of trading. And this is exactly how you go about building the templates inside of Bloodhound to tell it when to generate an order, right? You start with a framework. So the very first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that price has strong momentum, and then the velocity, meaning price has moved a lot inside that bar. We're looking for the potential of exhaustion. We're looking at support and resistance, and we want to see maybe some divergence, and then a trigger to buy. Okay, so this is our lowest hanging fruit trade. This would be an ideal. Sometimes we get ideal setups. Sometimes they're a little bit less than ideal. Okay, so sometimes if conservative traders will just wait and wait for the ideal setup. You might get just 1 or 2 of those a day. You might get more. You want to be a little less than conservative. You might get 4, 5, 10 trades a day. You want to be even less conservative. You might get 10 to 20 trades a day. It all depends on your qualifying process for the trade, okay? So I'm going to show you what would be the ideal or very conservative but most high probability process, okay? So we're going to talk about strong momentum. If you look at a chart and you see every other bar is basically a different color and everything's just chopping around, you could pretty much say, okay, there's no real momentum here. Price is just drifting like a real stagnant little stream, you know, and water's not really moving. Or you want to see some price real strong movement, some setting a series of lower lows or higher highs with bigger bars than were happening just not that long ago, okay? So this we would consider, we'd say, yes, we have strong momentum. Check. Phase 1 of the qualifying process is in place, okay? Increased velocity, meaning do we have a lot of movement inside that bar, a sudden burst, a sudden strong move inside that bar. In volume spread analysis and in chart analysis, you'll call that a thrust bar. That would be a down thrust bar, okay, or even a climax bar, meaning that's the bar just prior to the market manipulators doing something, okay, or they're actually doing it on this bar, and then we know what's going to happen after that, okay? So it's not prior to them doing something. This is the manipulated bar, okay? So we have this sudden strong move. Excuse me. So we have high velocity. So let's check. We've got level 1 and level 2, check, for our qualifying process. Then we've got the potential for exhaustion, okay? So a lot of people like to use momentum oscillators for reading exhaustion, and we do too. We use the relative strength index, or the RSI, for reading exhaustion. And exhaustion is when the oscillator steps outside the extremes, okay? So we get it outside this extreme, and we can characterize price as being oversold when price gets outside this area, okay? So we're oversold, so now check, we have the potential for exhaustion. When price gets oversold, it wants to pull back inside this, into the middle, okay? So this is the whole point of reading this momentum indicator, and reading overbought and oversold is anticipating this pullback, okay? Major lines of support and resistance. Okay, so right here we have no major lines of support and resistance anywhere nearby the trade. So we wouldn't characterize that as having support and resistance. This, however, has support right behind this bar. Okay? The fact is we want to use that support as a safety net. Okay? That support is going to be our seat belts, something that's behind our trade, to help us in the event that the trade goes against us. So we want to make sure we have a safety net in place. Okay, so yep, we can check that off. We have that in place. Okay, now divergence. Again, we have this this webinar on divergence. You can email Lisa for that, and she can get you the video on that. But divergence is what we're doing is we're reading the swing highs and swing lows of price and also of a momentum oscillator. Okay, so at this point, momentum and price will typically travel together. Okay, like this. You'll notice that we're setting lower lows on price and lower lows, swing lows, on the oscillator. Okay, so nothing is divergent. Things are running as we would expect. Condition here. However, you'll notice that the oscillator is setting a lower high, but price is setting a higher high. That is a divergent condition. All right, why is this important? I'll tell you one thing. Write this down. When momentum is leading price, price will typically stop and follow momentum. Okay? Everybody's always looking for a leading indicator. Divergence is a leading indicator. Divergence tells us that momentum has shifted and price will typically follow that momentum. Okay? So we have divergence. Now all we need is a trigger. That's our order flow analysis. That's when we know that the HFTs, the quants, the big boys are actually manipulating the markets. They are manipulating the markets to create a reaction from retail traders or even from other HFTs. But they do what they do to create a reaction. Okay? They're not out there. Everybody thinks they're out there stop hunting, and they're really not. They're out there creating reactions so that they can make you do exactly what they know that you're going to do every single time. Okay? They make this happen, and when they do that, we all react predictably. Well, if we know that it's about to happen, we can take advantage of those people that are going to act predictably. Okay? So, yes, we have a trigger. All right, so it's a step-by-step process for qualifying a trade setup. We can now take that step-by-step process and go into Bloodhound and with these series of solvers create these setups that generate signals on our charts. You don't even have to have the indicator on the chart. You load the indicator. You can have it on your chart if you want to, or just have Bloodhound just generate signals for you based on the indicators. Right? And this is where we're going to spend a lot of time on Saturday. Okay? Showing you how easy it is. This might look rather complicated. This is a template that we have a special offer that I'm going to talk to you about, and a number of different templates, this being one of them, that we're going to offer you with Bloodhound and with our Bunt package. We have a lot of pre-built templates. We also have Daniel Rowe, again, of Trade the Plan, who, for a very nominal fee, can help you if you have some special strategy you want to set up and build. He's real fast. He's real good. He knows what he's doing, and he charges by the hour. And it's not nearly enough money because he can get done in an hour what it would take me 2 weeks to do. And you can give him basically what you want to see happen, or how you would like to see these templates edited, and he can whip it out for you really quick. So you do not have to be a programmer, and you do not have to be overwhelmed by what you're seeing here. One of the things that kept me away from Bloodhound for so long was I thought it was going to take me a long time. I glanced at this and I thought, oh, how am I going to learn that? Oh, that's going to take me too long. And I wish I hadn't done that, because it probably held us back for a couple of years. Sean actually came to me and said, hey, man, you guys have the ideal. And Sean was hiding. He actually entered our trade room, and I didn't even know who he was. And he kind of was sneaking around watching what we were doing and looking at how much sense what we were doing. And then he came to me and goes, man, I've been in your room, and I've seen what you do, and your stuff is ideal for Bloodhound. So he came to us and said, we're going to do it for you. We're not going to make you do it. And they set up the whole thing for us. And it's been an absolute dream come true for a lot of people, especially with these pre-configured templates. Now, a lot of you may not have the foggiest notion who we are or have any experience with Bunt trading or us as a company. We've been around a long time, so most of you may have heard of us or had experience with us. There is on our website, rather than us just printing a bunch of testimonials, which when I go to a website and I see testimonials, I generally think the owner of the company or the website developer just sat down and wrote a bunch of testimonials. We actually have recordings of our traders who took the time to allow themselves to be interviewed, and we're very proud of all of our traders and the people that spend a lot of time and effort and energy on Bunt trading to be successful. You can either go to that URL up at the top, or if you go to our homepage at theintentionaltrader.com, if you look on the far right, you'll see where it says Trader Spotlight. We are actually going to be rebuilding our website soon. We're in the process now, and we know our website is not very functional, not very good, and we understand that, and we're working on it. But talk to other traders. Lisa also has a long list of references who are eager. In fact, we had a guy who has been doing his due diligence on us for probably a month. We gave him a list of about 50 traders, and I think he contacted all of them. And just today he bought our VIP package. So that says that he was pretty happy with what he found, I guess. So, and Lisa can get that list to you if you want to contact traders. So don't forget, Saturday is when you're going to learn the nuts and bolts about the stuff that I just talked about today. All right. This Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you go to theintentionaltrader.com/register. Even if you can't make it, register so we know to send you the video. Okay. All right. And we're also going to offer you a free trial in our trade room. We usually charge $49 for this. If you have 5 days to come spend with us, we'll show you the signals that Bloodhound will pick up for you. Okay, we'll show you how we trade them. Now, that 5 days does not need to be consecutive. If you don't have time this week or next week, but over the next month you can spend a day a week or something, sign up for the free week, and we'll let you spend 5 full days in there in the trade room. The trade room is open 8:30 a.m. until noon Eastern Time. Okay? So jot that down. Sign up for our free trial. Do we have a link that we can put in? Did the link go in? There we go. All right, so click on that link and you can register for the free week. Now, we do have a very special offer. We call this our Bunthound offer. Bunt trading and Bloodhound together. So we talked about a number of our indicators. We've got the speed tick, the overbought, oversold indicator, which we call OBOS, the major lines of support and resistance, the McDiver, the ricochet, the flash, the pullback alert, and velocity. All of these are the indicators that I showed you based on those non-correlated data, right? These are all the indicators you need to use Bloodhound and our templates to identify the pullback trades. Okay, so we've got all of that. Plus, we're going to give you a free month in the trade room and free remote installation and configuration, meaning that you'll make an appointment with one of our tech support guys. They will meet you and then come onto your computer and set everything up for you. They can soup to nuts. You just let us know what you want help with, and we'll set it all up for you. And we'll also include a little private tutorial session to get you started. Okay. On top of that, we'll throw in the full version of Shark Indicator's Bloodhound. If you already have it, don't worry. We have a code that you can put in to remove the Bloodhound part. And we also have a new program to help traders, to give traders some tools to teach traders how to train, how to practice at trading, how to practice like a professional athlete practices. Okay, doing the hard work that makes you a successful trader. Trading, and many of you may already know this, is not easy. And it is not something that you can just say, well, if I just know when to push the button, that's all I need to know. I just need to follow some guy, some moderator that says, hey, I'm trading now, and I need to push the button same time he does. Okay, if any of you have ever tried that, you realize that that doesn't work, right? Everybody tries it. We all try it, and we all find out, okay, that doesn't work. You need to do the actual work that it takes to be a professional, if you want to be a professional trader, right? Just like professional athletes. Athletes spend about 10% of their time competing and 90% of their time preparing. And that's exactly what we do as traders. Okay, and we'll show you how to do that. Most traders don't have the first clue how to efficiently spend their time practicing. Okay, now today we're going to do all of that at 40% off for only $29.15. Okay, so that's a 40% discount of what you normally get that for. Okay, and that's only until Wednesday. So if you go to our, where's that? Oops. Oh, dadgummit, I put the wrong. Lisa, put the link in there. Where's the current specials link? I forgot the. There is a link on our website called Current Specials. There you go. If you go to that link, you will see that there is a code. If you already own Bloodhound, there is a code you can put in there, a special code, and it will remove the Bloodhound from your package. Okay, so that would remove $4.95 from the price if you already own it. Okay. So this is a fantastic offer. I know that we've had a number of people just waiting for us to have a special like this. So I'm sure they'll be taking advantage of that. And if you've got any questions, we're out of time today, but Lisa and Praveen and Daniel will be fully loaded and ready for all of your questions on Saturday. And I want to thank you all for coming today. I hope that you found something very interesting and compelling to make you want to learn more. And I hope we get a chance to hang out with you in the trade room next week. I want to thank Sean and all of the guys at Shark Indicators for putting this on for us and bringing us together and bringing this platform for us to work on together. And hopefully we'll see you soon. All right, now, bye-bye.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Tony. Before I get started, can you guys hear my voice? I just want to thank all of you guys for being here and thank Tony and his team over at Intentional Trader for another bang-up presentation. Did you guys learn anything today? Did you guys enjoy that event? I know Tony covered a lot of information, but I just want to make sure if you guys like these webinars, we'll continue putting them on for you guys. So just type a Y in the chat box if you enjoyed the webinar and you got a lot out of it, and that way we can we can essentially make sure we can continue to put these on for you guys. Excellent. So I encourage you guys to check Tony out. He's definitely got a great system. He's got a great trade room. He's got a lot of successful traders, and make sure you attend this Saturday for his event where they'll be going into more depth with Daniel and Praveen and Lisa for the webinar that they're holding this Saturday. So thanks for being here, guys, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening with your friends and your family. Take care and happy trading.